67 degrees in downtown Sylacauga. Now you know the history of 28 days in February. We've got two guys right here that know a whole lot about the Parks and Rec here in town, and got Cal Ripken Baseball coming up. We welcome Steve Masters, the Executive Director of the Parks and Rec in town, and Hunter Cain, the Athletic Director. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us this morning, and we're counting down the days. What is it? The registration goes until the 4th of March, right?
Yes, sir. March 4th.
So how are we doing so far?
So far, we're doing good. We steadily coming in. Of course, we're...
Now, if you rock and fall off that chair,
no,
Steve's
I ain't gonna
fault.
rock. I ain't gonna fall off. Yeah, March 4th, and we still got them steadily coming in. They're coming in every day. So
do you know how many teams we're going to have?
Generally in Cal Ripken, we'll have 4 to 5 major league teams, 5 to 6 minor, around 8 rookie league teams, and we've had as many as 10 T-ball teams in the past. Mm-hmm. And then the Bambinos, we average 4 to 6 teams at that age group.
Now, Steve, how long have you been with the Parks and Rec?
I've been with Parks and Rec for 12 years. Okay. I've been the athletic director for 12 years, and I was on the board for 6 years before that.
So now, is it official? Have you taken over totally? Is it?
That's funny. We were talking before we came in. Today is Jim Armstrong's official last day. Congratulations to Jim.
He did a great job, didn't he?
We're super excited for Jim. You know, he's got his grandbabies now. He's got his lake house ready, 20 years in state. So he gets to go and enjoy himself now.
Yeah, I saw him on Facebook about what they're doing, you know, on the weekends and stuff. So that'll be good. Hunter, how long you been with the Parks and Rec?
I've been there for 6 years.
Okay, now you became the executive director, and Hunter goes into the position of athletic director, right?
Yes, sir. I'm big on building within. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we need to invest in our employees and, you know, educate them and work with them so they can work their way up. So, you know, Hunter took care of our parks for the last 6 years, did an amazing job with that. And, you know, Hunter's been an official at the high school level for many years now.
It's my 8th year.
You ever thrown anybody out of a game?
I have. Just one, though.
So, you know, Hunter knew sports, and so he got to move up. And then the guy that was with me out there at the complex has moved into the park position.
Okay, let's talk about the fields itself. It takes a lot to keep those fields up.
Absolutely. And hats off to Steve Masters for what he's done out there. I mean, I'm walking into a position right now where everything's just laid out and it's just keep it improved.
Yeah.
I mean, the fields and playing surface are top notch. Of course, we got a lot of work going on right now and a lot of work ahead of me for the next month of March, but I'm excited and waiting for it.
It takes, Steve, it takes a lot of money to keep these fields and stuff up, too.
It does. We finally, like Hunter said, we're at a maintenance stage now. Mm-hmm. You know, he's done a lot of new stuff out there. We've planted trees. They've done some painting, some cleaning up. We're doing a little some concrete work here and there. You know, I've been there for 12 years, but when a different person walks in, you know, they see different stuff. Mm-hmm. And Hunter's did a wonderful job of going out there and targeting those things and making some improvements already. And one of our capital improvements that the city approved is the new backstops and the new black vinyl coated fencing all the way around. So we're going to have all new chain link at our park this year as well, and it looks really, really good.
Yeah. Registration going on right now for Cal Ripken, and for those who maybe haven't registered yet, maybe got parents and grandparents watching of kids, how do they do that? How do they go ahead and register?
SylacaugaRecDesk.com, or you can go to our Facebook page.
Okay. Now, the season will start when?
April 2nd.
Oh, wow. A month away.
Yes, sir.
April 2nd.
A lot of work to do before then.
First Saturday in April.
Yeah. Now, what are some of the pluses, and I'll just toss this out to both of you, what are some of the pluses of Cal Ripken Baseball?
To me, I feel like it prepares the kids a little bit better for middle school, high school transition. Mm-hmm. Just the way the rules are laid out, they're a little bit different than other leagues.
Talk about some of the
set position, pitchers being from the set position to the wind-up position, leading off. I mean, as far as drop third strikes and all that little stuff, it's just the little intricacies of the rules. Yeah.
You know,
it gets you a little bit more prepared.
In our major league, you're playing live baseball, which is what you're used to seeing at the high school level, the major league level.
So you're preparing them for that, right?
You're preparing them for the next level of that. The other thing that I really like about Cal Ripken is competition. When we host a district tournament, we're going to have 6 to 8 teams in every age group that we play locally. You know, locally being Alex City, Talladega, Childersburg, Phoenix City, that area. And then we're excited this year as well because we've got the 9-year-old state state tournament and the 15-year-old Babe Ruth state tournament, both can be held here in Sylacauga on June the 24th.
And Hunter, that brings a lot of people into our city.
A lot of people to our city and will help our city even out better.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Steve Masters, Executive Director of the Sylacauga Parks Rec, and Hunter Cain, the Athletic Director, our guests this morning. And we're just finishing up basketball, so we're sports year-round, aren't we?
That's Hunter being new to this job. I've tried to tell people, we start basketball the 2nd week of January, and our last tournament of the year is the 3rd week of November. And there's something going on every day in between. Right. We've always got a sport going on. We try to keep the kids busy. Now that Hunter's moved over to youth sports, we're even talking about some adult sports this summer that maybe I can still lean into and host over there at the rec. So we're always trying to look forward and improve and bring new things to our town.
Hunter, could there be a slow men's basketball league?
We have actually tried this.
We have tried that.
And it was all right the first week until hamstrings started getting pulled.
Yeah.
It was hilarious because literally the first game, everybody's excited, and we go back. We had one guy jam a finger, one guy ended up with back surgery, and one guy blew a knee out the first day. So.
Oh, competitive basketball,
yes, sir.
Oh, hey, with Cal Ripken, bringing all these teams to town, as you mentioned, is so good for our city, but is teaching these kids, not just about baseball, but about life,
Life lesson. That was me. I grew up playing baseball my whole life. That was my sport. I love it. Still do. That's why I do high school baseball.
Yeah.
Just to get back around it. I'm a very competitive guy. And I just love, our town has always been baseball.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we love it around here, and bringing in them kind of tournaments to this town is big for our city.
My grandson, Zach, he's 11, and he got me to watch The Sandlot. I'd never watched The Sandlot movie before. And I got to watching that thing, and I said, that was me when I was a kid.
100%. Meeting up at Fairmont at the backstops or doing whatever, like Hunter said, Sylacauga, we love our other sports that we offer and stuff, but just historically, we're a baseball town,
Yeah.
So we're excited about it. We always want to build upon what we've done in the past. Bringing these tournaments in, we're looking at 20 teams that's going to be in our city that weekend. So, the economic impact from that will really help with tax dollars and give us a boost and stuff. But obviously, we give baseball a lot of attention in this town, but we're always moving on and looking forward to new opportunities and new sports as well.
Now, Hunter, this girls and boys play Cal Ripken, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Any girls, little men, we're all welcome. Anybody. And I do like to mention this Saturday we actually start our basketball district tournament in Talladega. We have a 8U, a 10U, a 12, and 14U.
See, I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
I didn't get the memo.
Yes, sir. I would like.
So where is it going to be held at in Talladega?
Talladega. There's 3 different gyms in Talladega, and they'll be playing in these different locations and times. We actually just got it yesterday, so I have to send it to the coaches.
There was, they have tournaments here in Sylacauga. I had one not long ago, and you couldn't stir people with a stick. There's so many people in there.
We held district last year.
Yeah.
Last year for basketball. The dates kind of run together on me sometimes. But 27 teams we had in that one day. We used
One day.
We used both gyms at the high school. We had the gym at the rec. We had the middle school as well, all rolling that day.
Now, Steve, let's talk about the nuts and bolts of the Parks and Rec. You've had a lot of experience working with Jim for a number of years and kind of know how this thing operates. What are some of the new ideas that you may have you bringing to the table?
My biggest thing is, like I said, I've always been athletics, and now I'm kind of shifting to parks and facilities and stuff like that. First thing we're doing is going around and really updating some of our parks, and trying to get them up to our new standards and stuff like that.
How many parks are there?
Wow, somebody asked me the other day. I know we got Fairmont, Noble Park, Bluebell, Beth Yates, South Highland, Moon Park, Veterans Park.
Wow.
And besides that, we cut 3 big practice fields in the projects. Of course, J. Craig, we cut the museum and City Hall. This guy used to do that by himself. So I'm trying to take the pressure off our
He's
new
moving
guy.
on up the east side now.
I got the easy job now.
I'm trying to take the pressure off the new guy, and we're trying to hire some new staff and really pay more attention, not just grass and shrubs and stuff, but toward the facilities. And with that, my goal is to do programming in our parks, and by that I mean, we want Bluebell to be kind of an event center. We want to have food truck rallies, we want to have barbecue competitions, summer concert series, stuff like that. So that's going to be my new focus. Obviously I'm here. I love athletics. I've been a part of it pretty much my whole life, and I'm going to be here to support Hunter in anything that he needs. And then I want to start focusing on bringing things into our parks.
When you talk about events and stuff and businesses that are looking to come into Sylacauga, this is some of what they look at. They look at our parks and what are you offering our kids?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have I feel like it's been a problem over the last few years. A lot of our executives and people that come and work into our city are not living in our town.
Right.
And some of that could be our fault. We need to make sure that we're offering the best opportunities in parks and athletics and school stuff for them to want to be a part of our town.
Hunter, it takes a lot of boots on the ground to make this Cal Ripken work. A lot of volunteers.
A lot of volunteers, and we appreciate and love every volunteer, our head coaches, assistant coaches, fields. I mean, when we have tournaments like these, for state tournaments, volunteers are very necessary.
Yeah.
And we are greatly appreciated.
Yeah. And where does the funding come from to operate leagues like this?
As far as our facilities and stuff, we feel like that's a city park. So we take care of 99% of the cost of keeping that facility up. Now, when it comes to each individual sport, purchasing balls, paying referees, buying uniforms, stuff like that, every sport we have besides football is self-sufficient. So based off your registration and income from our concession stand and stuff like that, that helps to fund our leagues.
Hunter, speaking of concession stands, there's nothing like a hamburger or hot dog from a concession stand.
And that was one of my little goals of this year. I'm actually going to try to bring in some food trucks and concession stands and try to do a little bit different. This might be my test and run year, but we're still going to have our hamburgers, our hot dogs, and French fries.
That sounds good.
We fountain drinks.
Yeah. Registration, what, the 4th of
March 4th. March 4th, and we have tryouts March 7th.
Oh, goodness, that turned around real quick,
Yes,
didn't
sir.
it?
And that following Tuesday, I think it's Tuesday.
Now, will they be the tryouts at the field, I'm
Yes,
guessing?
sir. At the
How many
complex.
fields are there? Is there just one? Or
We
more?
have 4 fields, and we have 5 different leagues, but our youngest league, the Bambinos, they don't try out. So basically each league will have their own field, and we can knock tryouts out in about an hour and have teams picked within another
Draft
45
that same
minutes. So
Wow. So drafting a player, the coaches get into this, don't they?
Oh, yes. Learned that from basketball. And I can only imagine with baseball.
Oh, yeah.
baseball is probably a little bit worse.
Yeah.
We've played with those rules in the past. People talk about building teams and everything else, but one thing you got to look at is Sylacauga is either a commuter town or a shift work town. So, when you ask a guy to commit to take a team, he's got to know that he's got help. Somebody to lean on if something happens and he can't be at practice or whatever. So the way we run ours is Bambino, T-ball, and rookie, which is 8 and under. They get a manager plus 2 coaches. So that way the 3 of them know that, hey, we've got each other's back and we're going to take this team. And then from ages 9 through 12, you get a manager and 1 coach. So that way you get to lock those players in and then you draft the rest of your team.
Hunter, getting back to the Sandlot, the movie, the kid, he wasn't any good at baseball. No. He couldn't throw it. He couldn't catch it unless it hit him in the eye. And he wasn't good to begin with. So there are going to be kids on these teams that are going to be like this kid.
Yes, sir.
Will they get to play?
Absolutely. We have it is a must play 2 and bat 1 time.
Yes, sir. It's the same it's been, I guess, ever since I was growing up and when I coached my son coming through. Every kid has to have at least 2 innings in the defense and at least 1 at bat. The thing that we've done in Cal Ripken over the past few years is pretty much 8 and under is free substitution. We do a continuous batting order that way that you're not subbing kids in and out. Now, even if that kid's not in the field that inning, they get a chance to bat. And then they rotate in and out of the field every other inning, instead of just sitting there and going in for 2 and being out.
And there's several reasons why you have these rules implemented for these kids, because a lot of these kids are real attentive and they're just getting started and they need encouraging.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're always going to be rec baseball. This isn't a travel team. When we call it tryouts, basically it's just for the coaches to get a look at you. Every kid gets put on a team. Every kid's going to get a uniform, get to play, get to practice and everything else. We are definitely all inclusive in our rec programs. We want everybody to have fun, from the kid who's out there picking the clovers in right field to, the kid at shortstop begging for the ball to come to him.
That's a good illustration of it right there, isn't it?
That is.
Before we go, I want to talk, and this is not in my notes, but I want to talk about with the Parks and Rec, and we're going into the spring soon, and summer is coming, and we don't have a swimming pool, we don't have a splash pad. What are we going to do?
That's a wonderful question, Jimmy Dale. Obviously, like I said, today is Jim Armstrong's last day. So, that's something that me moving forward as starting as executive director tomorrow, really, that's one of my biggest focus. I was talking to someone the other day, and I've been a maintenance guy this whole time. We took a complex in the Mill Village that, to be honest, was in really rough shape, and we've turned it into something that I'm very proud of. And going into this, we've got 2 facilities, Verley Collins and the swimming pool, that are both currently closed, and I have a really, really tough time with that. I've reached out, to City Hall and kind of seeing what next steps are with that. And I've just been told that, with this new company, we're coming in with a master plan, and we're going to try to see the community involved and how much it's going to take going forward for new facilities or improving old facilities, and then hopefully all pulling in the right direction to get that done.
I don't know if you can go in depth this any deeper, but your personal feelings about it. A lot of people want that pool, and it services a lot of folks.
Oh, 100%. And I was talking the other day. I actually swim in that pool 4 to 5 days a week, personally, me. Before work every day, and we would start that early March. And we would stay out there until the last day. And my best friend's from Buffalo. And when he says it's too cold to go swimming, it was time to quit swimming. And, we did that every day. We have, looking back, even when Jim was cleaning his office out, we found documents from 5 years ago where we had a company come in and give us a price on resurfacing the pool and fixing some leaks and stuff like that. And, when we apply that and ask for that as a capital request, that's the only way that can get done. Parks and Rec can't fund that. That's a capital request because it's our job to maintain city facilities. So, when we put that kind of information in and, it gets turned down, obviously that project doesn't get done. And, you take a 40-year-old pool and you patch it, you patch it, you patch it, you patch it. And, if we would have done that 5 years ago, the pool might have been open, the past 3 years. But even with that, this is still a 40-year-old pool. You don't see many 40-year-old pools, municipal pools, that are open throughout Alabama.
Correct.
So, even if the pool was currently open, we should still be looking into the future on what's going to be the best for our current kids and the kids for the future to give them the best aquatic opportunities.
Wow. We appreciate Steve Masters and Hunter Cain from Sylacauga Parks and Rec being with us this morning. And, as we kind of wind down the interview today, Hunter, let's again talk about Cal Ripken and the sign-ups and what do people need to bring for their kid to sign up for Cal Ripken.
March 4th, next Friday is our deadline. And
is this a hard deadline?
It is a hard deadline because
hard deadline.
We have tryouts next the following Tuesday. And as far as bringing just birth certificates. Just a birth certificate. And like you said, you can do that on SylacaugaRecDesk.com too. We have online registration, or you can come in-house.
You worked in the Parks and Rec for a dozen years or so. Tell me a good story about a kid that's come through the system.
Man, I've seen so many over the last few years. You know, I'm the old guy now. Even when we go to district tournaments and district meetings and stuff, you know.
He got gray in his beard.
Hey, there's a lot of gray, and most of it's because of this job. You know, it's just, you've seen so many kids come through, and you know, you think of a kid, I guess Cole Porch is one that comes to my mind. You know, Cole's one that was always struggling. You know, he was a catcher, he was tough. You got Peyton Wesson, who did make All-Stars as a 10-year-old and ended up pitching at Troy University.
Wow.
I mean, an awesome kid. So, you know, you see these kids come through and the determination and working, and you know, it's real exciting to see them excel at the next level and still have that love for the game they had when they were babies.
Yeah, Hunter, what about you?
That's the same way. Me umpiring, I did all the rec sports umpiring too. So I mean, I've seen them start in T-ball, and now they're in Babe Ruth. And
could you kind of get a feel for, hey, this little kid, he's gonna be special one day?
You can see it. You can see it at a young age, and it's just really cool watching a kid just grow through each division. And watching them progress. Even the kids, like you said, the ones picking flowers. One year he might be picking flowers, and next year he could be a stud.
They can develop in a hurry, can't
it? It happens really quick.
Hey, thank you both for coming this morning.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Steve Masters, the Executive Director of Sylacauga Parks and Rec, and Hunter Cain, who's the Athletic Director, and Ripken Baseball. Sign up through March the 4th. More Daybreak right after you take a look at this.